Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Chris Jones, and welcome to my stream. Glad you could all make it. Just have a quick look at the chat room. Hi, Rambling Geek. How are you? Thank you for joining. I've actually been playing around a little bit, and I've got Pretzel Rocks running, so hopefully the levels are all okay. I'm getting a bit of an echo in my headset, but I'll have a bit more of a play at some point. Okay, so I've got some echo on the mic as well. There we go. This is where my newbiness of OBS comes in. So if I do that and that, is that better? I'm not hearing myself quite as much now. Still getting a bit of echo apparently. Try to turn that down a little bit more. So, guys in chat, is that any better? I'm hoping. I did do a bit of a test before I started. Don't think so. Okay. In that case, what I'm going to do just gonna kill the music off, and hope that kind of makes it a little bit better. Is that any better? Hey Ancient Coder, thank you for joining. Just having some sound issues at the moment, so just trying to work through. Okay, is that better? No, I've still got echo in my headset. See, sounds like mic has been picked up twice. And I think I found the issue. Hopefully that's better. No, swear I need to spend a lot more time inside OBS. Right, how is that now? Cool. I think what was actually happening is my webcam has a microphone on it as well as the headset, and I think it was actually using both microphones. So in that case, I'm going to try playing some background music again. So, okay, Ancient Coder. Yeah, I'm still quite a newbie at this third stream. So, right. So that's right. How is that? It's a bit better, but still very low. Okay. Cool. I'm not going to touch anything else now. While I know that's working-ish. I've still got a bit of echo in my headset, but I can live with that. Since my last stream, I actually went off and did a little bit of off-stream debugging, and I finally got my Docker issue fixed. I've no idea what was wrong with it. So I did a bit of Googling and kind of saw somebody with the same issue again, and this is about this time last year, and yeah, just kind of looked at trying to how they fixed it, and they just said restart Docker, and tried that. That didn't work. So did the old faithful, restarted the laptop a few times. That didn't work either. And then I kind of thought, I wonder if I reset Docker. So what I ended up doing is, if anyone is familiar with Docker for Windows, I literally, all I did was just quickly show this on stream. I'm not going to do the whole process because I don't need to now, and hopefully this will come up in a second. It's where my laptop starts to really go slow again on me. Right, so why isn't that loading? I checked this a little while ago and it was all fine. Okay, Rambling Geek, yeah. I'm doing everything on a Surface Pro 4 as well. I've got the upper spec one, so it's got 16 gig of RAM, and the i7 processor. Still seems to be struggling for streaming though. So I have tried tweaking some of the settings for streaming. So we'll see how that goes tonight. Hopefully it'll be a bit more responsive. But I was hoping that Docker should be coming up. So was it because it's already running? Let's try doing this. Now what's it doing? Sorry guys, laptop's going slowly again for me. Yeah, it's normally pretty reliable, and I've noticed that as soon as I've started putting stuff through OBS, it's kind of starting to lag a little bit. Okay, come on, why aren't you working? This is where my computer just decides to fail on me completely now. Yeah, there we go, cool. Right, let's bring that over here. So yeah, so all I did to kind of fix the issue in the end is I think I came and went to, where did I go? Yeah, I think all I did was just write some notes down because I wanted to explain that. Okay, here we go. Docker setup run. Must have just been reset that I done just reset to factory defaults possibly. No, that's what I did. So just under general, just went switch to another version, and there isn't another version because I am up to date, and good old user account control pop up. Yeah, it didn't have anything to download as such, but I just let it do its thing, and yeah, my Docker ended up just fixing itself. So I just stayed on the stable channel. Yeah, so I just left that as empty, installed it, and that fixed my Docker issue from my previous stream. So with that being said, so as you can see, I've now got a MySQL container running. So I'm connected up to it using MySQL Workbench. And if I come over here into PowerShell, I can see all the MySQL stuff running in the background. So yeah, so that kind of left us with a website that wasn't really working because I couldn't update the database. So now we've got the connection string and everything fixed. I know what I need to do now to be able to connect up to it, and so I've got the connection string and everything sorted out. And what I have done as well for the project that I've created, I have pushed a README up to GitHub, and along with some of the brief introduction to me and yeah, just what I'm trying to achieve with this project. So I've just popped that in the chat. I think kind of looks a bit weird, but should be okay. So yeah, so what I wanted to do, so I was trying to just load the page up, and I think if I do that, that should work. So I had various issues last stream, and like I said, done some off-stream debugging of everything, kind of got the stuff working as to where I should have done last time round. But yeah, hopefully, just need this to load. Oh, 316. So I've also managed to get Karnak set up and running. Never used it before, seen it used on other streams. I thought I'd try and give that a go as well. And finally they all jump to life. All with the same error. Right. So yeah, so I just wanted to kind of go through the things that I had changed in order to be able to get this all up and running and working properly. So the first thing that I needed to do is to sort out the database context that we had. So inside our data folder, I set up a new CommunityFit DB context. And what I had before is just inheriting from identity DB context, but I actually need, so because we've set up our own user class, I actually need to inherit from that as well. So that was one of the first things that I needed to change. And so I just wrote some notes down the other day to make sure that I don't get this wrong again. And yeah, so what I should be able to do now is if I quickly bring my SQL back up. So you're not going to see this because I've already run it. So at the moment, I'll tell you what, if I get rid of the database altogether because there's nothing in there. Okay, Andre. So yes, so the database schema is gone. So if I now run the update database and pass in the CommunityFit DB context, that will now use this context, and fingers crossed, should now go and create all those tables for me again. So Rambling Geek, when are you next looking at streaming again? I know you've done an impromptu one Sunday evening. And good work getting the mirror and Outlook stuff sorted. Fab work. So this should just be building the application up. And once this is finished, might just take a minute or so first time round. I've got red squiggly and I'm not sure why. Cool, Thursday. I shall try and make sure I'm about to join you. Any ideas what you're going to be doing? Are you still working on Magic Mirror? Oh, no worries. I was just asking if you're going to be working on the Magic Mirror again on Thursday. Ancient Coder, I do at the moment. So it came, so because I done the project with the and included identity by default. I just haven't got round to removing the old one yet. Haha, Rambling Geek, yeah. It's certainly getting close, I think. I'm just waiting for this DB context to run. So, excuse me. Right, just waiting for my laptop to catch up. It seems to be struggling again for some reason. Shouldn't be taking this long. I'm just going to try and kill this. Right. Yeah, I'm starting to think the same thing, Ancient Coder. I didn't really want to lay out any money until I've decided whether this is going to be a regular thing or not. So, I do have a MacBook as well, so I could try and kind of come up with doing something between the two. Okay, right. So this is now running the DB context. To be honest, though, I thought the Surface would be more than capable of being able to run it, but so I've been proven wrong. But if this does become a regular thing, then I'll certainly be looking at seeing if I can upgrade my kit somewhat. Right. So if I now go back over to the MySQL and hit refresh, then I can see that the database scheme has been created and I've got all of the default tables. And excuse me. So I'm still expecting an error, but a slightly different one, I think, from the other day when I was debugging this. It's either that or I've just got far too much rubbish running in the background, which I wouldn't be surprised. Just still trying to get used to everything that's required to be a streamer as well. So many screens to look at. Okay, right, so the next thing I needed to do is, what was it? So in my startup, I so getting a connection string here, and so instead of using, no, what did we do? What made me decide to start streaming? It was kind of seeing some of the other people have a go. Um, so so I think watching C Sharp Fritz was definitely an inspiration. Then seeing Rambling Geek give it a go, the beginning of the year, and yeah, the whole thing of public speaking. Kind of like the thought of, but it absolutely terrifies me at the same time. So I kind of thought that, and I'm always getting told at work that I need to promote myself more. Um, so I thought this would be a good way as a kind of a happy medium just to try and build up some of that skill set of speaking in front of a crowd, um, but not face to face. If I ever ended up doing something like that where I needed to speak to an audience as such, and definitely like talking and trying to multitask whilst figuring other stuff out. That's kind of why I've ended up starting, and also I've had a Andre, he's in the chat, he's been badgering me to try and do this for a while. Cool. Thank you, Rambling Geek. Much appreciated. So yeah, just thought I'd give it a go and yeah, see what happens. And yeah, I definitely feel like there's definitely a bit of a community that's kind of spawned on from C Sharp Fritz's stream, which is definitely awesome. So I am a software developer at work. I was fortunate enough to kind of badger my way into it, I guess. Um, I left school with um, yeah, not very good qualifications. You know, I wanted a job in IT, but college, university didn't appeal. Um, Ended up working at a call centre. My manager knew I was quite technical, so I'm self-taught. And project came along, and he asked me if I was interested, which I was, and ended up spending about 6 years, I think, as a software tester. Um, in our IT department, and kind of during that time I got to sit down, talk to some devs, learn a few things, and yeah, kind of kept asking if I could have a development role, and eventually they gave up and said yes. Um, so I'm pretty much, I still class myself as a junior developer, although I've been doing it for probably just under 2 years now, so starting to get a bit more comfortable with doing stuff like this. Yeah. I think I had about 2 interviews, so I made it known that that's what I wanted to do, and that's kind of where I wanted my career to progress. Um, yeah, I had an interview, had a technical test that I needed to do, which got reviewed by some of the senior devs. Um, Got rejected the first time, but they did turn around and say it wasn't a hard no. It was kind of a not yet, but here's what we're going to do to try and get you a bit more up to speed. And they kind of gave me kind of a bit more of a learning plan, and kind of, yeah, let me sit down with some of the devs during their time, because yeah, I think they were quite happy to try and upskill me. Um, but yeah, um, meant I had to do a lot of outside of work learning at the same time. Um, but yeah, got there in the end, and that is what I'm doing now. Although it's not, it is C sharp that I do at work, but it's not MVC or Razor Pages or anything like that. It's something completely different, and something that I'm still trying to get my head around. So I was looking, so I need to update. Where are we? So at the moment, let's just use an application DB context for the framework store. I need this to be using my new CommunityFit context. And I also need to change identity user to use my new CommunityFit user. And I also need to pass in identity role as well. What about yourself, Agent Coder? Are you a developer? I see you hanging out in quite a lot of the dev streams that are going around now. It's certainly something that I wish existed when I was a little bit younger and was learning. I think YouTube was just about coming out, I think, as I was starting to learn a bit more of the in-depth stuff. See, the trouble with YouTube, there's not as much interactivity, and there is kind of the whole argument that there is as much good stuff on there as there is bad ways of doing it. Okay, I'm completely the opposite of you. Studied IT, mainly development through college and uni, but had courage to apply for coding jobs, but always coded on the side. Okay. Yeah, I actually work with quite a lot of business analysts, and who seem to have kind of gone the other way, where they were developers and kind of more interested in like the business analyst side, so I've kind of made that jump. Yeah, so the other thing I needed to add, which was, right, so if I save and build this, so this will give me another error. It's not add default identity, is it? It's just add identity. So this should hopefully get the website up and running once it's built. Yeah, no, I've found that as well, and I'm really fortunate actually that my work does give me a plural site license and also a Linda license as well, which is really handy to try and learn some of the stuff. But there does seem to be a lot more stuff that's readily available as well now out there. Right, so where are we? Should have. Right, so the website's not currently running. Should in a second. So when I was doing some off-stream debugging Agent Coder, yeah, I can't remember why, but I ended up needing to do it. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking something completely different, I think. Don't need the default UI thing. Okay. I think that's something that's coming quite new. I think I've done something in the past where I think if you're playing around with roles, which I'm planning to in the future, then that is required. Can't remember the reason for it, but without it, it didn't work. Then when I added it, it did. Okay, so we should now. So are you based in the UK, Ancient Coder, or are you in another part of the world? Okay, if you're going to code the UI yourself, there's no need for the UI. Cool. Okay, so this was the other error I was expecting to see. So because inside the login partial, it's still trying to use identity user rather than our custom user. Okay, so you are based in the UK, so that's three of us then that I now know. So myself, Rambling Geek, and you, all based in the UK. Yeah, holiday in Dubai sounds fantastic. Very jealous. Right, so this should be enough now for to get the web page to render. Welcome back, Andre. Okay, okay, you're in the UK as well. Yes, I know. Cool. So there we go. So you got the uh, website rendered. But I do know that the next thing I do, which is to register, is going to break it. Um, so I'll show you it broken, and then I'll fix it, and then get on and do some of the other things that I need to do. So just a random email address and random password, which meets the requirements. So the random password is password1@1. So I'm not worried about this being hacked, it's only on my local machine. That's not my real password. It's not my real email address either. And there we go. So that was the next error I was expecting to see. And the reason for that is just because there is some two-factor authentication that is now available out of the box. And we just need to add in the default token providers to identity. And so where I left the blank line for it. So if I just pass that in. So had I refreshed the page, it would have worked. It just would fall over. So if I try and register again, this time test1@test.com. And this should hopefully successfully... Did I not build it? That may be why. Normally it will rebuild automatically on when you refresh the browser, but for some reason I think I've managed to either break some of my Visual Studio settings or just the settings for this particular project. Just need to try and figure out why. And just that build and then try that again. It's .NET Core Rambling Geek. And yes, Ancient Coder. Yeah, I've gone for MySQL. no particular reason. It's just something that I've ended up using since I first started doing PHP. Um, yeah. Right. So there we go. So that's now built. Let's try that again. How's that now, Andre? Is that better? Is there still an echo? It's obviously killed the web server again. Let's just try restarting it. So the next thing I want to try and have a look at outside of doing this project is like looking at some of the bot stuff. But that's a challenge for another day. Why is register not taking me to register? How strange. Don't even know if that was the address, I just made that up. Let's try a rebuild. Okay, you guys can still hear the echo as well. Okay. How is that now? Is that still the same? Still low volume as well. Um, Input capture. So, okay. So apparently that's better now. Yeah, ancient coder. Yeah, again, something that if this does become more of a regular thing, would be something that I'd look at doing. So it's just a case that even my green screen isn't a green screen; it's a green blanket attached to the back of the chair. I've just done this on a complete budget of 0. And I've now lost my browser. That was extremely clever of me. It looks like I closed it. That's what happens when you try and multitask. Cool. Okay, echo's gone apparently. Is the sound still okay? Cool. Thanks, Agent Coder. Yeah, still trying to decide if it's something for me and if it's worthwhile, but yeah, it's definitely don't know. I think it's one of those things that when you start, you kind of almost get bitten by the bug of doing it, and then you just want to do it even more. Cool. Thanks to the link, Rambling Geek. I did see you talk about that on your first stream. I was going to ask about that because I know you said you were going to put some details out there, but didn't see any. I'll definitely save that for the future. So I think it's that port. Yeah, 4316. Yeah, I am Rambling Geek. I'm dropping some frames. I don't know if I should have a relatively good connection, to be honest. But I think my upload speed isn't particularly brilliant. Don't know, do you have the same issue when you stream, or? So I'm trying to see why my register link doesn't work anymore. Because there's no link in there. And I think Ancient Coder, that is why I needed the default UI in there, possibly. I'm not sure. Wouldn't seem right, but okay. So I'm on a Surface Pro, which has got an i7. It's Pro 4, but I don't think it's got dedicated graphics. So unless that's something that works or helps at least, right? No, it's still no extra. Why has that all of a sudden stopped working? Yeah, not sure a whole amount rambling geek of what I'm doing inside OBS at the moment. Total newbie. So there's no error as such, ancient code. It's just there's no href being rendered, which would imply that there's something inside the login partial that kind of not able to link it up to the identity stuff. Let's refresh that. Let's spin this up again. Are you a streamer, ancient coder, or something you thinking about doing? Cool. Right, okay, that's now fixed. So it looks like it may have just been that default UI thing, maybe. I'll just leave that in for the time being. Right, so if I do test3 at test.com. Yeah, I did, and no idea why it stopped working, to be honest. I haven't really changed that much, I don't think. At least I didn't. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's I definitely feel like I think especially the community around C# Fritz's stream is kind of really friendly and is again something that's inspired me to do this. So it's really good stuff. Cool. So yeah, so you can see that the login's now worked. No errors thrown. And come over here into the database. We can see the users and just do a quick query on there. And there we go, there's the 3 users that I have so far created. So, next thing I wanted to do, so in the README that I put on the project, well, I'm not going to be able to find it now. If I can type, which I can't. Hopefully that's what it was. No. Let's just grab that link from earlier in the chat. Where am I going? What am I doing? So I start buckling under the pressure of streaming. No, don't do that. Right, just trying to log into my GitHub in a different window. But Chrome is now insisting I do it as a guest. I don't want to be a guest. Right, let's just kill that off quickly. Rambling geek. No, not at all. The thing I always find is it's always helpful trying to explain stuff to other people as well. So I think doing that reinforces your own understanding. So, but yeah, no, definitely wasn't throwing anything at the screen. Yeah, definitely ancient coder. That's definitely one of the things that I've found with watching C# Fritz's streams. Like, I'll try and keep up, but due to the time differences with work, as I imagine you know as well, also being in the UK, um, yeah, you can't always make the live streams. And I know when I've been watching them back, I've gone, yeah, I'd really like to type a message here. And although I think you can on Twitch, I don't know if what happens at that point. I don't know if that, see, that's too late anyway by that point. But Yeah, no, I'll try not to shout if I can help it. Alright, so I've completely screwed my Chrome up for some reason. It's completely disappeared. I've no idea where it's gone. Doesn't want to run, I know that much. Ah, there we go. Let me just open that. I did try running a slimmed down version of Chrome without half the extensions that I normally have running. Yeah, no, I do the same, Rambling Geek. Unfortunately, the connection when I'm in the office is rubbish. I kind of work from home today to kind of help the team out because we don't have enough desks for the amount of members in the team. But the reason I chose today is because I knew it was one of Jeff's streaming days. So I'm just loading my GitHub up. So, what are your next plans to the Magic Mirror, Rambling Geek? I think I did, Andre, at some point. Okay. So what I did want to show, so within the README, I wouldn't say they let me, as I get to sit there with a headset on and pretend like I'm either watching a training video or just listening to music or just on a conference call. So yeah, that's the other thing I ended up doing the other day when I started typing this up. I ended up doing a logo. Don't know what you guys think of it. It was kind of thrown together. I don't claim to be an artist or a designer or anything, but I kind of started getting a bit bored of typing, so I thought I'd start doing that instead. Um, so yeah, I kind of put some thoughts and ideas as to kind of some of the stuff I want to try and capture and achieve. Um, so you've got these things here, so things like the kind of data that we want to be able to capture, what we want to be able to do, and plan is that I'm going to try and go through some of these on stream, or everything on stream actually. I would want to try and do as much as I can on stream. So the first things that I'm going to be doing is adding these properties into the CommunityFit class, or CommunityFit user class, I should say. So what I need to do is come into here. So as you can see, I've already got a couple of the properties. I'm going to rename that one. I'm not going to name it my name because that'd just be silly. So first, last name. There's one other one, isn't there? Email address and nickname. So I'm hoping by you watching, Andre, you can start doing some coding as well. Okay, and nickname. So if I now, so by making changes to these files, I need to run a database migration just to make sure that the tables are updated to capture these. So I need to add a migration. As added user properties. So some of those are. In fact, I think they are. I think the only thing that is email address, ancient coder. So GUID for ID. Yeah, I do normally use GUID. So yeah, could do. I think by default, username normally defaults to the email address. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, that is normally one of the things I normally end up going to change. Is the IDs to GUIDs instead of ints. I'll just let this migration run. Hopefully it'll build properly this time now I've got that using statement in. So yeah, ancient coder. So if I come over into MySQL, it just disappeared on me. Yeah, so there is username. Come back. Where have you gone? So typically, I believe, yeah, so username gets defaulted to email address. And I've forgotten to provide the context I want it to use again. That's fine, Rambling Geek. Okay, Ancient Coder. Yeah, I think I have done something in the past, but typically I can't remember what it was. Okay, so there's the migration. Should now be able to update the database of that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm overly worried by it being unique as such. Not for this. As long as the email address is unique, I think that's enough. Once this is run, I should see those extra columns in the database. You should see this full name taken out as well. So yeah, definitely think I need to look at setup wise to try and get things running a bit more performant. Okay, so there goes all the migrations. Now if I refresh over here, yeah, I can now see all those additional fields that I've asked to capture. So the next thing I want to do is get the user to update that when they first log in. So I don't want to do that. So I almost want a notification style icon somewhere in the top. Am I not logged in? No. And why does that keep killing the web server? Right, I am just gonna take a quick 5-minute break just to go and grab another drink, and I shall see you guys back in a couple of minutes. Hi everyone, welcome back. Hopefully that wasn't too long. Right, so there's a couple of things I was trying to think of. Um, One of the things I would like to try and do is show a notification when the user first logs in if their data is incomplete. So, for example, one of the example accounts that I created a little while ago. I would like to, once this has logged me in, put a little icon up here or something to say there's some more information that we need to find out about you. So there's a couple of things I guess we could do. Could try and just stick another Boolean field um, on the same user table. Trying to think if there's anything else. And then every time that user logs in, just have a look, see if all those fields are so if that field is false and all those other fields are filled in, and then just set it to true. And if that field is true, then we don't need to do anything. And I think for the time being, that might be the approach that I take. Unless, of course, I can think of, or anyone can suggest another way of doing it. I think that's probably going to be the easiest thing to start off with. So, the hi OMG Buster. By HTML frameworks, so it's not strictly HTML, it's more JavaScript, but I'd definitely say for those React and Angular JS, probably more so. But if you're kind of talking in terms of pure HTML and CSS and styling, I think the two pretty main ones are Bootstrap and Foundation. Let me know if that's helped. To my knowledge, anyway. Okay, so I've just added this new Boolean property. That's right, no worries, MG Buster. Hey, Ancient Coder, welcome back. So, yeah, so what I was saying is, until I can think of a better way of doing it, one of the things I wanted to do is when a user first logs in, just to show an icon up here somewhere in the header. It's basically say your profile's incomplete, where they haven't filled in those additional properties. And so what I've done is created a Boolean field on the same table, and the approach I'm kind of thinking is it'll be false by default. When the user logs in, that will display the alert, and if they update that information that we require, I've forgotten the context flag again. Yeah, it'll look at that. User profile is completed. If that is true, it won't do anything. If it's false, it will prompt the user to fill out that information. That's the thinking that I've got at the moment. So I need to do context. So I'm being lazy and trying to use autocomplete, but I'm sure by the time it's figured out what I wanted to do, I could have probably typed it. Yeah. So Ancient Coder, I tried to answer OMG Buster's question. Kind of said if it's pure HTML, CSS, probably the two main ones I think are Bootstrap and Foundation. But then the other ones were like with the JavaScript stuff, probably more React and Angular, I think, at the minute. Probably the ones that are the biggest ones out there. Cool. Right. So I wanted need to update the database. Okay, OMG Buster. Yeah. If you're definitely looking to like add in some interactivity, JavaScript, definitely quite powerful now. All depends on, I guess, the individual needs and if you've got something in mind. Yeah, definitely echo that Ancient Coder. Yeah, it's quite good as a framework, but it does help to have an underlying understanding of kind of what it is you're tweaking, as and when you need to. I did see a joke, I think, the other day. What was it? Two CSS properties walked into a bar. Another property in a different bar fell over. Yeah. Right. So inside here. So I've now got the user. So I want to check if sure it can do it on user. No, it's going to be mine's going blank. Right, what does I want to do? excuse me. I need to check if my user. I need to check the property on that user. User equals. Oh, it's where my brain starts giving up. No. This is where you see me just start googling around everywhere. So I should just be able to do it using User Manager, which is what I thought. Right. Now I'm just hitting all the wrong keys. Right. I just want to try and put. Sorry, just catching up in chat. First, need the scaffold the identity files. I think they get. I thought they got scaffolded anyway, or maybe I completely misunderstood what you're trying to say, Ancient Coder. So, but no, iOS is still running. I'm just waiting for the page to refresh. Taking this time, it's the first time it's been built again. So I think my plan is I'm going to go until about for about another 20 minutes till about 10:30 this evening. Cool. So let's recognise that this user doesn't have anything at the moment. now need to capture that information. So I'm going to do it as part of the identity framework so that I can do it inside here as well. So I can add some further fields to this, I think. This probably could be the easiest way. Keep it all in one place. Right. So that, where has that gone? So I've now moved all the identity stuff, and I think there's a package you can pull in that gives you all of the identity code and stuff so that you can play around with it. So moved it into a Razor Pages file, I think. I'm still trying to get used to doing it inside Razor Pages. Thanks, Ancient Coder. Yeah, don't know if I'm quite following what I need to do, what you're suggesting. I have seen something. Ah, yeah, right. Makes perfect sense now you say it. Right. And this is now where my Visual Studio hangs for ages. Right. Right. Hopefully. There we go. Where is it? Is it something I need to pull down? I'm in the wrong place. Does it need to be under the area? Nah. No, I'm, yeah, close, I think. There it is. That's the other good thing about streaming as well, Ancient Coder, is, yeah, you can guide other people as well. Right, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, user class. Yeah. Thanks, Ancient Coder. I think the last time I'd done this, yeah, I can't remember. I don't think I had to do that. maybe I did and just completely forgot. Wouldn't be surprised. So how long are you over in Dubai for, Ancient Coder? Just while I'm waiting for this to do its thing. Yeah, it's possible I might have already had them included. I think this is the first time I've actually used identity as part of Razor Pages, where I've clicked the tick box on the new project. I think last time I actually installed it as a NuGet package, which probably did all of this for me anyway. Okay. How long have you been out there for so far? I was gonna say the weather's pretty bad here. Well, I'm based in Norfolk. Um, yeah, the weather's not been brilliant today. Do you recommend it as a holiday destination, Ancient Coder? Cool, nice 4 week holiday. So Rambling Geek, Ancient Coder's like us, he's based in the UK. This is certainly taking its time. It may take a few moments. They're not lying. Every year. Oh, be nice to able to do something like that. Definitely, I think it's one of the places I'd like to visit, but we'll see. But yeah, can imagine it's really nice, especially when it's rubbish weather here, which it is more often than not. Come on, Visual Studio. Hopefully this isn't going to take too much longer. It's not like Ibiza or Benidorm. No, I can imagine it's not. Not that I've uh, gone to either of those either. Although last year did visit Bulgaria, but we're just outside of the party area, about a 10-minute walk away. Wasn't too bad. And weather was quite good. Visual Studio. Take your time. Yeah, I get the same, Rambling Geek. Um, yeah, there's a few places that I've enjoyed going. Um, but yeah, um, they're normally English-speaking countries. So, but yeah, like some of the other places I've visited have been all right. Been to Turkey. Um, where else? Yeah, no, Turkey, Mallorca. I've been. Did the States one year. Fantastic. That was a couple of years ago. Done a massive road trip. Never driven abroad, and got off the plane in Vegas. 10-minute shuttle. Picked the hire car up. Before I knew it, I was driving down the Las Vegas Strip, terrified. That was interesting, and that was in the evening as well, so it was really busy. So Visual Studio definitely wants to take its time doing this. Yeah, the driving in the US is odd, especially getting used to being able to go through red lights. No, so I've driven automatic, never driven a left-hand car, but yeah, definitely different. But we ended up doing Vegas, then driving down to Los Angeles, a little bit of Hollywood, back up to Yosemite, and then San Francisco. Yeah, on a right turn, unless the sign says you can't. But I was just relying on people beeping behind me to tell me if I was doing something wrong. But I was terrified the first bit I was doing around Vegas. I thought I'll just stick to the right hand side lane. I think that's a slow lane. I just end up keep driving around in squares. Yeah, square roundabouts. Although I think their rule is you don't give way to the right, you give way to whoever pulls up first, which I can imagine just causes carnage. It shouldn't take this long, surely, just to add a package. It's taking ages. But yeah, successfully, I think we drove probably just short of 2,500 miles. I think the a couple of days we were over there. It's definitely a full-on holiday. Oh, yeah, no, we went 2016. That'll be 3 years this year. We went. Definitely love to go back. Just a shame the flights are so expensive. So I really want this to add this package, and it's just taking so long. So what I might do, as it's now coming up for 10:30, and I said I was going to finish at 10:30. I'm just going to let this finish doing its thing, but I think I'm going to call it a day. Is there anything going on behind? I don't believe there is. Um, I know sometimes these can take a while, but I haven't got any alerts or anything lit up on the taskbar. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap up here for this evening. I'll let this finish installing this identity scaffold package stuff, and I'll push this up to GitHub. And yeah, until next time, thank you for joining me, guys. Rambling Geek, Ancient Coder, Andre. Cool. So Robert Tables is streaming, so I shall try doing a raid again. Last time I tried this, it did not go to plan. But yeah, it was going to be Robert Tables, I think, that I was going to have a look at, or the Adam guy. His his stuff is actually really interesting to watch. But yeah, let's go for Robert Tables. Cool, Ancient Coder, thanks for joining, and yeah, I'm now gonna try and raid Rob. So thanks for joining, and catch you all later. See ya. No, so still saying I can't raid the channel, so I'm gonna host it instead. Okay, Rambling Geek, raid username. So where do you normally do that? This is my Twitch newbiness coming out as well. I found him in the raid and host thing of the channel. But yeah, saying I can't raid his channel. So I'll just host it instead because that's going to be easier. Yep, right, my chat. So raid. Let's see if this works. No, it's still coming up saying I can't raid it. So I'll set it to host. Yeah, until next time. Catch you all later. Bye.